We have just finished.
I'm surprised you didn't get back. Slightly belated full council meeting. Agenda item 1 is apologies. Madam Clerk.
Apologies.
Thank you very much. And just before I go to agenda item 2, I'd obviously like to just point out and welcome our new county councillor, the Hayden Ward councillor, Scott Thorley, who's observing us tonight. So welcome.
Good evening, Scott.
Well, we've got representatives, but they come to most meetings. Agenda item 2, declarations of interest, Madam Clerk. Sorry, anyone else? No, excellent.
Mr. Mayor, can I make a declaration, please?
Yes, Councillor Bridges.
On the matter of financial matters regarding the
Business Circle.
uh,
Business Circle?
that's the one.
Yeah.
Long journey. Now, it's even though I will comment on the matter because it is in my ward, I do think it'll be a good practice for me to abstain from voting on it. So,
okay.
Just to declare that.
Okay, thank you very much. Good. Agenda item 3, questions and answer session with members of the public. I don't have to ask the clerk if you do have a question. So, I will read it out. It is from the Business Circle. So, I'm writing on behalf of Milford Haven Business Circle regarding our ongoing attendance at the Town Council event subcommittee meetings. First, I'd like to thank the Council for including us. We remain very keen to be involved and would also like to note that to date we have attended every meeting we've been invited to, demonstrating our commitment to the town and its events. As a non-profit organisation, Milford Haven Business Circle not only represents local businesses, but also works to promote local economic growth and foster community engagement. With this in mind, we are particularly keen to ensure our involvement is meaningful and beneficial. However, based on our experience so far, our role appears to be largely observational. We would therefore appreciate some clarification on the intended purpose of our attendance in this capacity. As a group, we are eager to contribute constructively to discussions and support the planning and delivery of events within the town. At present, it feels somewhat counterproductive to attend without being able to actively engage in conversations or input. We'd be grateful if this question could be put to the Town Council, if possible, during this evening's meeting under item 3. Specifically, we'd like to ask whether our role is intended to remain observational or if there is scope for Milford Haven Business Circle to have a more active and participatory role within the events subcommittee. We would appreciate your time and consideration. Councillor Sharp.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I may be making this up, but I haven't since. Did we not discuss about the fact that if there were some visitors and they had something on the agenda, that through the mayor, and as long as it was agreed, we could ask that particular person to either explain or speak at a council meeting? Am I making that up? Or was that discussed at some point?
No, so for a full council, the mayor can invite someone to speak.
Yeah.
But this is particularly related to the public events subcommittee. So the public events subcommittee opened up its membership to include other groups some time ago.
Yes.
I think to answer the first bit, it isn't meant to be observational. If the Business Circle Roundtable, for example, boards are attending a meeting and they want to discuss something, then they're absolutely welcome to do so. As the public events committee. And I think the second bit I would then add to they then wouldn't need the chair's permission as such to actually participate in that meeting because they are a member of that committee. The second bit is there is a review on at the moment around the public events, and I know the deputy mayor is leading that with Councillor Jones around the sort of the role and purpose and what that might look like with other groups and public members. And one thing that the clerk and I have discussed is on top of our own agenda items, if the business circle, for example, as is their question, are attending, that we also give opportunity for them to ask us questions or to bring something to the table. So, if there is a rep from the port, a rep from the business circuit, etc., that they also have a standard agenda item for that two-way discussion as well. So it's not just one way.
So for clarification, is that full council talk about public events?
Public events, yeah, public events. I think that's fair to say. Right, there's quite a few hands up. So, Councillor Jones, you went first.
No, it hasn't as yet. It needs to be amended. And I have spoken to the deputy mayor about it.
I will speak to you. I'm away for a few days. I'll speak to you on my return. Councillor Jones, all right.
Yeah, so I think it's because that has to then be ratified by the council, that because the deputy mayor will be hopefully all going well in a couple of agenda items will be taking the lead on it. Councillor Gray, you're next.
I think that the business circle, port authority, police, any of them that attend our public events can only be beneficial
Absolutely.
for our events to
Yeah.
run more smoothly and cohesively if we all join in together. So I think the public events, they should participate and be
Yeah,
part of the annual meeting. As for full council, then no, we can discuss agenda items.
Yeah.
But for subcommittees, if they're invited, I think they should be part of the role.
Yeah, absolutely. Madam Secretary.
Councillor Bridges has
Sorry,
signed up.
Councillor Bridges.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I just say before on this point that is the new microphone in use at the moment?
It is, yes.
Right, in that case, as my first experience using this, we do need to revisit this again as a matter of urgency because the quality that you can hear is very poor.
To be fair,
but more-
the deputy mayor brought that up to the clerk earlier.
But moreover, just as a point of interest, something to note, it's very difficult for an observer online because we don't know who's actually at the meeting, or like as lovely as Mark's face is, he's the only person that we can see. So obviously it would be useful to have a wide angle camera of the actual meeting so people knew who's actually in attendance to engage with. That's just a little bit of general feedback. But
Yeah.
on the point of the business circles question, am I not wrong in saying that the vote was actually taken on the fact that the people that we wrote to were given a voting right at that subcommittee? So in relation to the ones that we actually agreed to invite, being those individuals and organisations that we have wrote out to, that they were invited as a full attending and voting member of that subcommittee. So they should have the rights to engage in that subcommittee as a voting member. Am I not mistaken in that, or I thought that had already been voted on and approved, or am I wrong in that assumption?
Well, I'm not sure. I've just looked at the clerk. We don't believe it was a voting member, but they are a member of the group.
Okay, I am under the assumption that we thought that the people that we'd invited would have a more active role in the actual subcommittee itself.
Yes.
But it would be worthwhile revisiting the minutes of that meeting, because I was under the assumption that they were given the ability to actually vote on matters as long as it didn't conflict with anything that they're obviously putting themselves forward for. But it'd be worth revisiting what was actually agreed, because that's the assumption I've got in my mind.
I'll get the clerk to double check and we'll clarify that point.
Thank you.
Councillor Sharp.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, I think firstly they should be commended for the fact that they have been turning up
Yeah,
to
absolutely.
these meetings, and it must be frustrating for you sitting there looking at our lovely faces and not being able to comment. And I do think it is very, very important then that we don't waste their time, but it is very important that they have an input into events and things like this. So I am definitely thinking of knowing that they should be invited to any events, committee meetings, subcommittee meetings, and they should be made aware when it will be the following council meeting anyway, then they could be invited to the council meeting when that will be discussed amongst the councils. Otherwise, some of the times they're here, bless them, for things that are just a total waste of your time. So that's how I think we move forward with that.
So I think just to sum up then, because the 10 minutes of this section is really up, that we will respond, although I know they're acutely listening right now, that it isn't in an observational. I think we need, not just with the business circle, we need to sort of clarify that with any member that we invite. And we also ensure that they've got an opportunity to speak. So it's a two-way piece at that subcommittee, not just. And of course, I'm very conscious that councillors, depending on certain councillors that might be present, I include myself in that we could be a bit overpowering and therefore might not give non-councillors the opportunity to actually represent themselves.
So, Councillor Bridges, have you still got your hand up? Oh no, right, okay, all done. Yep, got it.
Sorry, I turned it off. Sorry.
Okay, agenda item 5 then. Sorry, I've jumped one. Agenda item 4. News from the mayor. First of all, I would just like on behalf of the Milford Haven Town Council to. I just stop for a second while the secretary disturbs the meeting again.
Since Carol Stevens and Thomasina Stevens cannot connect to Zoom right now.
Okay, well, there's nothing I can do right now while we're cheering. So, agenda item 4, sorry, news from the mayor. So, the first point, I'd like to send our sympathies to the deputy mayor of Neyland Town Council, who sadly lost his sister at the weekend, Sinead Phelan, if I can say that right. Our sympathies are with Ash, and I know that we have sent our condolences to him via Neyland Town Council. And of course, our sympathies also reach out to Pembroke Dock at this time, whilst long-standing county councillor Brian Hall passed away on the weekend. So our thoughts are with Pembroke Dock at this time. Just to uplift you a little bit now, I hope. But I'm delighted to share that we have now been approved and accepted, having signed the Armed Forces Covenant. We obviously agreed that a little while ago, and we are now exploring the bronze accreditation for the ERS, which is the Employer Recognition Service, something like that, as part of the Armed Forces Covenant. So delighted that we have actually signed up to that as a council. And then the last bit from me is today, this afternoon, we've held the interviews for our potential new handy person to join the team. So very shortly, the clerk will notify the appoint or the person we would like to appoint, and therefore then brief the council with the name of the successful candidate. Otherwise, that's news from there. So, agenda item 5 then, mayor's engagements. The secretary sent that out this afternoon, so I didn't need to say anything further on that. Agenda item 6, council engagements and community activities. Councillor Hartwell.
I'm just asking in relation to my council engagements. Do we know that happened to this opening up? I had quite a few people ask for that event.
Yes. We haven't got a date yet, have we?
Yeah, probably.
I can just confirm that Councillor Abbott has been there all day today, painting, reading, and doing other bits.
Maybe.
It's me tomorrow. It's got one available to tomorrow. It'll be filled and hopefully it'll be on Sunday.
Okay.
And then
Hopefully only on Sunday.
Okay.
As long as it's filled and the pouring level to right, it'll be only on Sunday.
you know, so no. Okay, agenda item 7 then, feedback from councillor representation on outside bodies. Has any councillor got anything to bring up at this point? Okay. Agenda item 8, questions about debate pursuant to standing order number 6. Well, Councillor Williams not here, so I doubt we would have anything. I say that every time, actually. But he is the only councillor I've known to use that in my time on the council. So, agenda item 9, minutes of the meeting of the full council held on Monday the 13th of April. Please see attached, page 148. So, Councillor Sharp.
Unless there's any comments, move proceed.
Second.
Uh,
Second that,
thank
Mr.
you.
Mayor.
Well, so all those in favour? Thank you very much. Agenda item 10, election of mayor 2026-2027. I'm assuming, because there's no name there, that the deputy mayor would like to be the mayor for the forthcoming year. Yes, please. Excellent. So, we've got a nomination in Councillor Woodward. Do we have a proposer? Oh, there's a few. So, Councillor Sharp.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
anything for a quiet night.
You voted me?
Anything for a sausage roll and a bit of quiche. I would like to nominate Councillor Mark Woodward for the position of the mayor for 2026 and 2000.
So, thank you. Do we have a second? Oh, there was 3 different hands up, but Councillor Davis did hit everyone then. So, Councillor Davis has seconded. Well, thank you. So, although, sorry, is there any other nominations I should say?
Oh,
Oh.
no, I think
thought
we're
secretary
good.
could put herself in.
Yep. Oh.
Right. All those in favour? Thank you very much. Congratulations.
Genuinely humbled and grateful. Thank you all.
I'm looking forward to 2 weeks tonight.
Oh.
The
Right.
jokes start then.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we're a bit late. We should have put a caveat into the vote around jokes and how the ballot.
Sorry, the Councillor Stevens, they still cannot connect to Zoom. And of course, Councillor Carol Stevens, she's in contention to be deputy mayor.
Did you know you've got to do a separate code now? That one thing. Oh, that's good. It's a different code, it's still different ID code.
Should I try and phone them again? Is that okay, Mr. Mayor and Town Clerk? Shall I?
So for
Should we move them to planning this month then?
yeah, unless we've got an objection, we will return to agenda item 11 and I'll go to 12. If they're not on by the time we finish, then I will continue. So agenda item 12 then. Planning matters 12A is planning applications for information only. Are there any? Councillor Sharp.
Sorry, I believe, having read through them, do A and B unless there are any questions, because it's clearly stated for information only, unless there are any questions to either A or B. Deal with it all in one. If you're happy with that, Mr. Mayor, then I move to C.
But for all of A and B,
Yeah.
do we have a
As legal.
no, Councillor Bridget hasn't got his hand up, so I'm assuming he's happy with us to approve A and B in one hit. Yeah, thumbs are up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Councillor Southwell, did you want to say something, or was it just agreeing?
that was a
Yeah, that was agreeing, and also I will second Councillor Sharp's proposal that we accept.
Well, so all those in favour? Excellent. So that's 12A and B done. Right. Should we keep going with 13 whilst the secretary hasn't returned?
Yeah, I don't think it should.
Okay. Right. Agenda item 13, financial matters. 13A applications. So let's go with the first one. So I is Milford Haven's men's sheds. So they are asking for, he says, and I've lost the amount now. I will see if they go. Doesn't actually say it, does it? Yeah, Councillor Sharp.
Firstly, Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'm happy to speak about this one as well. Could I just ask the clerk through you, could we be reminded of the total amount left in the budget at the moment?
Brand new financial year, so it's been topped up again to
It is a brand new thing.
yeah, put 40,000.
Then, Mr. Mayor, if I may carry on, I personally believe this group does an amazing thing for Milford. They help the museum out, they do an awful lot. They've now got themselves a home, a base there at the station, and it says about their lease. I actually think I'd like to put forward the 1,200 to pay their annual lease. No, sorry about the shop. So I'd like to recommend the 1,200 to pay their annual lease.
Okay, please. That's the proposal for 1,200. Do we have a seconder before I take amendments? That's the seconder, yeah.
No.
Okay.
Can I ask, on the we do all 2024, is that okay?
Yeah, 2024 is the Constitution amendment, but yeah. Okay, so we've got a proposal and a second for 1,200. Are there any?
Well, really sorry. There's
Well,
nobody looking and it's on the screen.
Yeah, Councillor Bridges.
Councillor Bridges?
Thank you, guys. Only just to re-mention, because we're in the same situation we appear to have been in a couple of weeks ago, there are multiple applications in place, and we did resolve that we would discuss all applications prior to voting on them individually. If we are talking about large sums of money and multiple applications, I'm just wondering, are we going to adhere to that, or are we still doing it in the way that we did it previously, which caused the issue on the evening several meetings ago?
We have sufficient funds because it's a new financial year, so no application would cause a problem to the budget line tonight.
Now, I'm only mentioning that because I'm mindful that we haven't received. There is a large application on the agenda tonight, which I'm not obviously going to vote on. However, we don't appear to have received an application from Milford Round Table yet, and I'm just mindful of the fact that we, how much are we, if we were to support all of these applications tonight, or as if the town council were to take a position to support all of them, are we still in a position where we can consider what we expect to receive from them? So I'm just mindful of that because only mentioning it because I'm aware that they reached out to myself and the clerk just not too long ago in relation to the grant application. So I'm just mindful to make sure the councillors are aware of that, and if we do receive an application equal to what they've put in the past, would we still be able to consider that if we were to approve these this evening? It would just be interesting to know that.
The clerk has assured me that we would be in a position, if all was accepted for all the for the requests tonight, that we would be able to support that application in the future.
Oh, thank you for that. I appreciate it.
Councillor Sharp.
If the clerk has assured everybody on that, because the other suggestion for a way of moving progress, because I know I was left in an awkward position at the end of the financial year last year, and I'm not totally disagreeing with Councillor Bridges there, but we could recommend an amount like I've done, and if it's got a seconder, we could then go back and vote on them all at the end.
Yeah,
and then that gets very confusing and complicated.
I think
and it does go against
it does, yeah. I think at the moment it's fine because we're at the start of the financial year, as we approach the ends. I mean, obviously, I wasn't at the meeting where
I spoke before I thought about.
Yeah, that's fine. I think it might need a
Yeah.
bit of how we do the grants, and maybe we go back to quarterly because then we can manage that budget better. Right, but that's an aside. Sorry, Mr. Deputy.
Just to clarify, because I chaired the meeting, from memory, I think we said we'd take it towards the end of the financial year that we started taking them in order and going them through. And I may be wrong on that, but that's certainly the way that I recall it being, that towards the end of the year when money was getting tighter, that we would look at them in bulk, go through them individually, and then vote which ones we're going to give finances for. I didn't think it applied at the start of the year.
Right. Are there any amendments to 1,200? No. All those in favour? Thank you. Anyone against? Or abstaining? That's carried. So, application 2. Yeah, so sorry, application 2, Milford Haven Business Circle. Councillor Gray, going straight up.
DNS.
TENS, that's the temporary event notice. I don't know what the S stands for. Notices. Notices, yeah, maybe. Yeah. Councillor Jones.
Sorry, I have a question, is, because understanding from the meetings, kind of a bit more about religious conversation.
Yeah.
It actually costs quite a fair bit more than that. And the business circle, as I understand, must be covering a fair whack. Are we allowed to ask for a figure so that you can see that they're not actually asking for basically the town council to fund the whole thing?
Are you asking us to fund the whole thing?
It looks like it there.
So the, without any advertising at all, the current costs are about £9,200. We have in the plan, you know, what we've got in the balance in front of you. We have around another £300 to put in already, which hasn't been banked. And we are trying to fundraise more, so that's where we are.
Well, thank you. Councillor Sharp?
Thanks, Mayor. Now, I've always said this, I'm not saying it because they're sitting over there. The business circle do a very big favour by taking this off of our hands, because those that have been around for years will know that we used to have to do this, and what a nightmare it was. And in fairness to them, I have seen lots of events going around where they're trying to raise as much money as they possibly can through other events. There was an elders' night down the hill on Saturday night. That all goes towards this. Previous years, like last year, we gave £1,000, sorry. I would be very much, I'm trying to fight my way through trying to give them more than that, because what I am frightened of is if they don't get the money, this event is going to crash. I do think it's a lot of money, and I appreciate why it's a lot of money. So I'm really fighting amongst myself. I think whatever money I do feel we give them needs to have, and I'm sorry to say this, a little caveat, that if they can't get the total amount, then obviously we don't give that funding, because if it fails. But I'm really struggling. I mean, I've looked at a couple of things, and I'm kind of looking at sort of like things like bouncy castles and market licenses, and that's coming to 2,000 odd. I don't know whether I could happily say everything. And I'm sorry, chaps. I don't know what other people's opinions are, and I'd be very interested to say, but I think whatever we do, we have to, unless we give them the full amount, we have to have a caveat that if they can't get the full amount, then we don't give them whatever we do tonight. But I definitely feel we need to give them something towards this, because it's a great event. It is a very small group working very hard to put on a day for the town, the whole town. So I would leave it open to taxes to come up.
Right, Councillor Bridges is up next.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Can I just clarify, just for the sake of it, transparency? Obviously, this is the matter I had an interest on, but I've made my matter clear on this sort of issue with public events over the years, and I can continue to do so without crossing any boundaries. Can I ask if the clerk is aware that the last year that we as a town council ran this event, how much it cost Milford Town Council to run this event ourselves? Are we aware of that?
Yeah, no, so it was before the clerk's time. Obviously it was the former clerk, so she's not aware of that off the top of her head.
Well, I'm going to go on a limb here, because the reason I'm being very delicate about it is because it was me who obviously was asked by the town council to chair that event, and I believe it was higher. So the reason I'm mentioning it is because I just want this to be whether the town council support this event or not, I think it should be taken on board that at the moment our only real perception to the public on us engaging in public events is by us solely funding the round table. Now, if you compare us to other town councils such as Haverfordwest, who are working in conjunction with another organisation to run regular events within the town, as are Tenby, as are Pembroke Dock, and yet we as a town council at the moment, outside of the Christmas event, are not really doing anything in relation to community-related events for the town. And we are very weak in that area compared with other town councils in the two counties, to be honest. So I think it's not looking at this event solely, but outside of the wider perspective. If we're not going to support events in the town that are prepared to actually do it on our behalf when even when we did it, it was costing us the same, and it was under our banner. I'm just curious to know as what are we going to do as a town council, because we're not doing anything ourselves. So it's a very sad state of affairs for the when it's the only free event that the town is currently putting on. If then we currently.
Sorry, Councillor Bridges. I don't think it's council not wanting to support, because I think reading the room here, which I appreciate you can't see, there is the appetite to support the event. I think that the issue or the question really that we're facing is how much to.
Yeah, and that's the point I'm trying to raise, Will, is that, sorry, Mr. Mayor, is that reality is this particular event is the only event really that was a Milford Town Council labelled event, but we did make the decision to let it go under different management, but they have done a fine job keeping it going. And if that were to fail, then we have no other event which we are either related to or in charge of outside of us, really. Well, like I said, the Christmas event is the only other one I could think of off the top of my head. But again, that's a very limited, very brief, event, which is again, very weather related, as we all I can attest to. So I'm just saying that if we don't help this one, it'll be a sad state that if it does pass again, because it may not get going ever again, So it's just, I'm speaking out loud on my emotions about it, because I think that as a town, we are very weak on events. So it would be a very big shame if this one were to fail with nothing else going on as it is. So that's just my personal view on it. And obviously, councillors will make their own opinion on it then as to how they vote.
Okay, thank you. Councillor
May I say
Hartman.
something?
No, you can wait, Councillor Stevens. Councillor Hartman's next.
Can you see me?
We definitely do need to support. My only issue is, because it is maybe 75% of the cost, could it be looked at as third party, then it'd be procurement? Like if, other people who've come in for grants, we've asked them, if you're asking for this particular aspect, we need, to see that on paper and in quote, or, if we were going to go and get the services ourselves, we would need to see different quotes. So that's my only instance with that, is the procurement of the various items. Look at it helpful.
I don't disagree at all with what you're saying there, Councillor Hartman. The only thing I'd say is this would be more, I think, and it's a stipulation we could build into it, that we're working hand in hand with them, so they're not coming for us. It is basically a joint venture. Is that fair to say? Or are we saying it's totally there and we're just giving them the finances to support it? I think we need to make a clarification there.
Yeah, I think. I don't know if Councillor Stevens is following as well.
No. So next on my list was actually Councillor Davis.
Right.
Yeah, we could turn way up. All I would like to know is the bulk of the money, £5,550. It just says security stewards and medical. I'd like to see a bigger breakdown of that and find out exactly what it entails.
I actually attended the business circles meeting about this. I obviously haven't got the figures to hand. I can personally assure you they are more than reasonable for the date. The cost of security, medical cover and everything else would really come to more than that.
Yeah. And it was needed last year because there was a medical emergency.
Yeah, it was.
Sorry, I wasn't Johnny.
You are, because Councillor Southwell is actually there.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. You can hear me, I take it?
Yes, yeah.
Very much, thank you. Yeah, yes, we don't want to go on about this for too long, do we? I know it's important, and the business circle have taken this from us, so they're doing a great job. But I agree with Councillor Sharp. I don't think we can't give them the whole of the amount. I think we should give them something towards it, and we can work it. Excuse me. We can work in conjunction with them along the line. So if we're going to offer £1,000, perhaps at this juncture, that would be good to do. But we do have other things that we do run in the town, the Christmas and other things and other donations. But if anyone's suggesting £1,000, and that I would go with that. Sorry,
No one has at this point, Councillor Sadwell.
sorry.
No figure's been bounced around yet. But
All right.
unless you're recommending that.
Well, in that case, I will recommend £1,000. How much do we have, Madam Clerk?
39,800 in the pot.
Okay, I think we can go £1,000.
Yeah.
I propose that.
Okay, so before I move on to the next hands up, we've got a proposal for £1,000. Is there a seconder for that before I move on?
Can I say something, please?
Do we have a seconder for £1,000? Okay, no, so we won't consider that. Right, next on the hands up was actually Councillor Jones.
Like more actually to answer Lee's question.
Yeah.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Just to say, the idea of opening up the public events subcommittee is so that we can combine resources. Your tens or whatever it's called is actually for a certain number of events or facilities that we are working together on public events.
Hello.
In future, there will be the business that will already cover the public events notices or.
Yeah.
That's the one.
Yeah.
But the difference.
Yeah, I've got the question.
We.
Oh, yeah, it's all right, it's on mute. Hello?
Would be able to use the business.
License.
You know what's next?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean, to benefit the wider community on multiple events? So the whole idea of actually opening up the public events committee is so that people who've got insurance, the licenses, the they can actually get everything there. You obviously, we're not obliging them to.
Does stretch the buck a bit further.
By including that and helping pay for that, we actually, the whole community will benefit from it, not just.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Councillor Sharp, you're next.
Yeah.
No, you are next, believe it or not.
Well, I'm going to really shock everybody because listening to Lee Bridges and having a think about things, Councillor Bridges, he's very correct in saying that yes, we do the Christmas event. We did originally used to do this at a great cost to the council, etc. And sitting here thinking about these events, that not only is it just a one-day type event for the town, a lot of community groups and things have stalls on there. I know the Sea Cadets get involved, so it's not just a day for the town to celebrate and a day to come together. A lot of community groups use that opportunity on that day. So the more I sit here, the more I think we would look bad not to support this in a big way. But what I would like is two caveats. One, that the business circle who works so hard doing all the hard work, it's clearly emphasising any advertising, any sort of promotion, that it's in conjunction with Milford Haven Town Council. And perhaps just for our own peace of mind at the end of the event, because who knows, there may be a slightly additional cost, there may be a slight saving, that we have like a breakdown of the costs at the end of the event. And in light of the fact that I like round numbers, and we have been informed they have raised about £300 that's got to go into that bank account, I'm actually going to shock everybody and recommend an amount of 7,000 here goes towards that day, and it's in conjunction with the business club. That's my recommendation.
Okay, thank you. So we've had
on the grounds of those two caveats, that in conjunction with the town council, and at the end we have a breakdown of what costs what.
Yeah.
Just so if anybody came back to us and questioned it.
Are you still putting in the caveat that if the event doesn't go ahead, we get the money back?
Yeah, sorry. If the event totally doesn't go ahead because there isn't enough sufficient funds or the costs go up beyond their ability, then obviously we don't put in.
Okay, so we've got a proposer and seconder. I'm just aware that Councillor Stevens ×2 had their hands up. Is there any amendments to that?
Oh, yes, please. What I was going to say is, even though you're starting to go through the motion of voting, if we could only get more shopkeepers in the town to take part in it and take in, like we did, our fancy dress and the day and the atmosphere out on the streets, because we stopped because the high insurance that was brought into the government and we couldn't afford to cover the insurance. That's the reason why. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can, but we're all in disagreement. It wasn't the insurance. That wasn't the reason we stopped the event.
No, but I'm just on about that. That's the reason why we stopped it the last previous
No,
time,
that's not
because
correct.
and that's the reason why we had to stop it. Not for
Okay.
funding, but I'm suggesting that if you can get
But
more of the
the purpose
shopkeepers
of the meeting
involved and
and the
back them.
recording, Councillor Stevens, it wasn't the insurance. That wasn't the reason we stopped. So I'm going to stop you there. Right.
All right, carry on. Sorry.
Councillor Stevens, you also had your hand up. Did you have anything further to say? No. And then Councillor
No, not really.
No,
I was just doing exactly what time to sharp.
Perfect.
I'm good.
Thank
you.
Excellent.
Yeah. I like a
Okay. In which case, we've got a proposal for £7,000. Is there any amendments before I take that to the vote? Yeah. Okay. So the recommendation of £7,000 with the two, maybe three, based on caveats. First one being that if the event doesn't go ahead, then the funding is returned. The second one is in all the literature subject. It will state in conjunction with Milford Haven Town Council. And the third is that after the event, we get a breakdown of true costs, because then that will help us explore future funding and support.
Yeah.
Okay, all those in favour? Okay. Thank you. Anyone against? And anyone abstaining? I know Councillor Bridges is abstaining. So in which case that was actually unanimously supported. Thank you. Agenda item, application 3, Milford Haven Pickleball Club, which was deferred from the last meeting.
Not the last one.
9th of March. Thank you. I'll scroll down.
For those who, Mayor's just looking, for those who are not clear, pickleball is almost the reverse of tennis. You actually have a hollow ball and you have a paddle, a bit like a table tennis paddle, from what I could see on Google when I Googled it. And you still have like a tennis net there. You have to get things over. That's as much as I can tell you about it.
Yeah.
So they're asking for £2,500, and you can see the breakdown there. I think this is actually the first application from this group.
Oh, the clarification last time was whether they were part of the tennis group or whether they're totally separate.
I think
that was the query that came up when I chaired the meeting. Unfortunately, I don't have a paper in front of me.
Okay. Yeah, so they did confirm that they are a subsidiary of the tennis club and therefore they share a joint account. They share the same financial account, so it would be like us getting an application from the girl guys with the one account. Right, Councillor Jones.
Sorry, again, like I said, the last one, of course, it was ended up not being relevant to go back and ask more question.
I also wasn't at the last one, so whatever you say will be new to me.
That's system 99.99. 10-foot pickleball net option £25. Pickleball net £104. They've got £250 each. I question where they're buying money from.
Yeah, okay, fair point. Yeah. Councillor Sharp?
Yeah, they I fully agree with what Councillor Jones has said. They maybe don't necessarily needing a certain standard, because you can get like a swing ball from Amazon at £20, but if you're doing something sensible and you've got public involved, you need something a lot more secure. So I'm not disagreeing with Councillor Jones there. If it helps, I would be more than happy to recommend the nets and the balls. The fact that they've got so they can physically do it, because if they've got the nets, they've got the balls, they can actually have the event. But the actual coach education and things like that, I'm sure there are people out there that can, you know, you're talking 1,200 here for to pay for a coach and getting them educated. I'm sure there are people out there that don't have the work. And as long as they've got the equipment, they should be able to go ahead and do it. So I would actually put a proposal forward, and I'm fully aware of your saying, Councillor Jones, but what I would say is a similar sort of thing to the previous application, that I would recommend the 1,300, which gives them the nets and the balls, but I'd like to see the receipts for those to find out what quality they are, etc. Because it is very clear you can get them cheaper online elsewhere.
Okay, so we've got a proposal.
Councillor Southwell is online.
Okay, we've got a proposal for 1,300. Is there a seconder before I have any further? Is that Councillor Southwell? Is it seconded?
Sorry, Mr. I've lost my yellow hand. Yes, I would like to second Councillor Sharp's proposal of £1,300.
Right. Any amendments?
I think it's very important that the state we see the receipts of these, because it is equipment that we are funding, and we need to make sure we're covering incidents as well, just in case. So it needs to be good quality stuff. Just in case there was an accident, I would want to see the receipts when they purchase these items. So that's got to be written in.
Yeah.
So no amendments. So as Councillor Sharp has proposed, 1,300. It's been seconded, subject to receipts being provided to the clerk after. All those in favour? Anyone against or abstaining? So that's carried, 1,300. And then the final application is from the Rotary Club in Milford Haven, which was deferred from the last meeting. So just that was subject to the information being requested. So you'll see the return information that they're only asking for. Was it £500, something like that? Councillor Sharp.
If I may, obviously we've read the minutes, so you'll know, you'll be aware of what I said at the time. But I think it's such an amazing event. So many children from around the whole county, certainly around Milford and beyond, go to this event. You have been to it. I have been to it.
Yeah.
It's a fantastic event, and I actually put forward that we covered the 1,400 for the coaches.
Yeah.
So that it made it easier for them. But rightly so, at that time, we didn't have the information to go for a grant above £500.
Yeah.
We now do. So I would like to reapply or recommend the original application of 1,400 to go towards the coaches.
Although just to confirm, if you'll see the letter from the Rotary Club, they're only asking for £500 because they've already gained enough support from other sources.
Right, well then let's make life very easy. I'd recommend the full £500.
Yeah.
No questions asked.
Do we have a second? Oh, there was a seconder to that too.
Yeah.
Excellent. So all those in favour? Thank you very much. £500 carried. So the moment we've all been waiting for now, we'll go back to agenda item 11, which is the election of the deputy mayor 26-27. Either that or the mayor's not going to have one. I joke. So, as you'll see, we've got three names for consideration: Councillor Gray, Councillor Hartwell, and Councillor Stevens. The secretary will pass around the voting slips because it's been involved by ballot, and then secretary or the clerk will collect the slips. I think. What's the shot? Okay, so just to clarify, vote slips are coming around. We will put a vote in. Unless there's a clear majority, then we will drop one and then we'll do a second vote with two people in the final.
Mr. Mayor, something's happened to the microphone when you've disappeared all of a sudden.
Yes, one X only. Sorry, Councillor Bridges, did you say something then?
The microphone dropped off, but you've come back now. It dropped off for some reason.
Oh,
It's come back now.
Window up.
so for those on Zoom, hopefully you've got the poll to put up that the secretary will see the outcomes to.
Yep.
Okay. Message.
Okay.
Indicating their vote.
No.
Oh, you think one.
Oh, too bad. Well, has everyone on Zoom voted?
Yes, I have.
Right, okay, thank you. I'll end the poll now. Here's my pen. Take a screenshot from the screen. Oh, so the transparency
Sound has gone.
do this, just so you can see how people have voted before I close the poll.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, thank you everyone. I'm going to end the poll if I can. If I can. Oh.
There's a the white slip is specialist, so all the rest of the thing. Was that the one we put it? That's the. Be online.
Don't want to tell you all a joke, or we're wasting
Just remember what happened to certain presidents and certain countries. It can be a relationship. So orange. Maybe not. Stop, go now.
I'm not staying behind. I'm straight off down to Nice in a minute.
Another meeting to go to.
I just realised I haven't booked a hotel for a second night. So I've got over tonight, not tomorrow night.
We're just counting the votes.
Okay.
To the council, has it been an insight into the way in which council should be run?
Okay, so there is a clear majority, and therefore we now have the recommendation of the next deputy mayor for 26-27 to be Councillor Cathy Gray.
We didn't hear it. Speak up.
Due process, may I have a proposer for Councillor Gray? And just to remind you, whoever proposed and seconded are the people or the councillors that will stand up and say how wonderful Councillor Gray is at the mayor in 2 weeks' time.
Don't tell that.
Or in this case, how not so. No, I'm joking. So, do we have a proposer for Councillor Gray?
Me.
Yes, there is two there. So Councillor Hartnell as.
Sorry, Councillor Southwell.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry,
Have you got copies?
No,
Okay.
if somebody else wants.
So Councillor Hartnell has proposed, and Councillor Southwell has seconded. I love how we all clap. We haven't actually confirmed it as a council yet.
Oh,
So,
okay.
are we all in favour of Councillor Gray? Thank you very much.
Yes.
In which case, congratulations to the Mayor-elect, Councillor Woodward, and the Deputy Mayor-elect, Councillor Gray. And I very much look forward to handing over in 2 weeks, the two of you, and returning to the back benches. Otherwise, thank you very much.
Oh.
Close.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.